chef! Xin chào everybody and welcome to the Gundam Chef Show. As always, my name is Brandon and I will be your chef of the day. As you can see, starting from this week's episode, I will be using my real voice
because we ran out of budget to hire a voice actor.
Let's start with the dish that we will be covering today. The HG 1144 Gundam Legilis. This particular Gundam is from the show Gundam Age, which I haven't watched, nor do I have any desire to do so because I have more important show to watch.
You're the son of Zeus.
So, to the true hardcore Age fan in the comment section, I do apologize for what's gonna happen next.
What the hell are you doing? It's not what it looks like.
In the Asian culinary world, I would say that this Gundam is comparable to that of an eggplant. As you can see, just like this Gundam, eggplant is also unique and strange because it is a weird purple, glossy and juicy vegetable. I wasn't a huge fan of it growing up, and just like this Gundam, when I first saw it, I wasn't a huge fan of design either. But as I learned how to cook the eggplant and also build this Gundam model kit, I learned a valuable life lesson because both of these have really good point to them, and as a great chef, I always find a way to improve them further. So in honor of the theme of this week's episode, which is learning how to accept new things, I will be reviewing this Gundam model kit right here, as well as cooking delicious eggplant stir-fry dish. So please, niece and nephew, please smash the like button, click on subscribe and notification bell, and stay with me till the very end. I promise you, we are doing something special here. To start off, let's just take a look at what we have here inside the box. Here we have 9 different runners that make up the Gundam and 1 polycap seat. 1 cooking manual showcasing what the Gundam will look like after it's been painted, and a tiny bit of tidbit about the lore from Gundam Age in localized language. I am deeply apologize about the tighter state of the manual because I have been a little bit rough with it.
Yeah!
Next up, we have 1 huge sticker sheet which I didn't use at all, so as always, into the trash it goes. And finally, we have these here 2 big onions. We'll be cutting them into thin slices, not too small so that they will end up melting inside pan, but not too big either. You don't want big boy onion in your... Putting them aside for a moment, we move on toward the legs of the Gundam. There are 54 parts in total that make up the legs and feet. Construction-wise, they are quite straightforward. You want to circumcise, cut the tip of the eggplant here. Next, we want to make big enough slices to ensure the maximum flavor absorption. After that, we will be giving these a nice bath in salt water. Oh, and what do you know? Here, we also have the completed legs. Lovely! I really like the tall and slender design of this leg here and the amazing color separation that it has outside of the box, especially at the feet here, where you can see it consists of 4 different colors. I have hand painted certain white area of the leg and other body part of the Gundam with this gray color here for that extra color separation, and I think it turned out great. What I really don't like about the legs are the huge and visible seam lines, like this one here that runs across the thigh, and this very big one here that runs from the middle of the leg down to the ankle, which was way too big and distracting for my taste, so I ended up removing it. However, due to my inexperience with sanding, I ended up sanding more than I could have chewed at this area here. Luckily, I managed to cook together and scratch peel some part to cover it up, and I think it fit the overall design of the Gundam quite well. Moving toward the arm and shoulder, we can see that they consist of 40 parts. Putting all the part here inside this bowl, give it a bit of a garlic powder, MSG for the taste, and a dash of fish sauce. Give it a good old mix with this here spatula spoon thingy. Give it around 5 minutes for all the flavor to fill in. We dump our meat into the pan and give it a simple stir for 5 minutes. Once the meat is golden brown and puffy enough, we remove it from the heat. You can use all kind of meat that you want here. I chose to use some chicken because I love me some chicken long time. Taking this fully built arm and shoulder away from the plate first, as we will let our meat rest here. We will come back to it later. Like with the legs and feet, somewhat decent color separation for the arm and shoulder here. For the most part, you're supposed to use a very ugly yellow sticker here for this section of the elbow, but I painted with my Gundam marker instead, and I personally think it looks great. Once again, the seam lines are really big and nasty, with the biggest one being at the forearm and the top of the shoulder right here. As for this hand, I've never seen this style of hand before on any other Gundam. Definitely something unique and special. We will save them for later when we talk about the weapon and accessory. But overall, really nice design and simple construction for the arms and shoulder. A total of 13 parts make up the chest and waist. Construction-wise, they are as simple as cutting these garlic and tomatoes here. The color separation, once again, is decent enough at the chest and waist area. There are some areas like this one here at the chest, the front skirt, and the back skirt that require some color correcting sticker, but they can be easily repainted by using Gundam marker. I would definitely have preferred for this jewel piece here in the middle of the chest to be a clean clear part, but considering the grade, I can't really complain much. This area here around the chest is a tad bit special, but we will save it for later. There's this small piece here at the crotch area, which you can remove to reveal a hole for the action base. Be very careful so that you won't lose it. It is so small, so you better make sure to squint really hard. I think our lovely eggplants had enough time in the bath, so let's take them out. The reason you want to do this first is because you want to remove the wax and juices from the eggplant, because they can be a bit bitter and nasty. You will also be making the eggplant more firm, as well as preventing them from absorbing too much oil. You don't want those pesky calories to creep up silently on you, just like how I silently built this here backpack behind your back. All I can say is that just like many other parts of this kit, it looks unique and special. Once again, not to sound too much redundant, but I can't stress enough how weird and unique this whole head is. There are different eyes options which you can use, but to be honest, you can't really tell much of a difference just by looking them at afar. There is a huge missed opportunity for this section here at the top of the head to be a clear piece. The kit itself does come with a sticker to put in that area, but it is not reflective foil, so I decided to throw it in the trash and use metallic Gundam marker instead. Finally, we have everything lying up here on this board, so let us proceed by putting everything together. And presto, we have the Gundam Legilis completed. Putting it side by side here for size comparison with the HG Gundam 00 Quanta Red Dragon custom that I made, and the last week episode Kerorobo UC completed edition, you can see that the Gundam Legilis is a tad bit taller than both of them. As I said so many times before, this is a very unique and strange take on a Gundam design. Sure, it has the traditional red, blue, white and yellow color scheme, but at the same time, it has some element to it that make it look like an alien from out of Earth with these ding-dong gun here and these huge wings. The overall build quality of the Gundam was decent enough. Some seam line here and there, but not too much of an issue if you know how to remove them. You can definitely add the extra garnish with the extra painting and water slide decals. Putting the eggplant here into the oven for 15 minutes in 200 degrees. We want to roast them until they are nicely golden brown. That will give us enough time to cover the articulation. We have this lovely chicken movement at the neck area. Head can look up and down, but not too much. As usual, 360 rotation is possible. The torso area though is completely stiff. You will get absolutely nothing out of it besides some very minor side to side and the rotation here at the waist. The arm and shoulder can technically rotate 360 degrees, but you will have to move the wings out of the way first. Nice swivel here at the top of the arm. The shoulder can shift in and out. Very decent double jointed elbow bend that goes a little bit more than 135 degrees. The hand and wrist are on a ball joint which you can rotate. Front skirt can be flipped up just like this. The back skirt and side skirt are on a ball joint that are fused together, so they can move around just a tiny little bit. They also pops out quite easily if you are not careful. The leg can move up this far and back this far. Disappointingly, the thigh cannot swivel at all and the leg can only spread this far because they have this ball joint to socket connection here. Amazing double jointed band here at the knee with this cool and awesome armor separation gimmick. Ankle guard can move up and down. The feet are on a ball joint here that connect to a hinge so you can move them back and forth, rotate 360 degrees, and a nice pivot. The wing of the Gundam can be flipped up and down just like this. You can technically rotate them, but since it is a ball joint to polycap connection, it is very loose. You can collapse and close the wing like this using this hinge right here. The articulation of this Tralala cannon here is amazing. You can move it up and down with these hinges here, rotate them around and do a lot of cool poses with it. Apparently, for in the show, this Gundam is very famous for this particular shooting pose right here. I hope you guys are preparing to fail No Nuts November because we are gonna bust a huge load of nuts. Oh! And by nuts, I mean these special chili nuts, which are a little bit spicy. We'll be crushing them inside the bag just like this to make sure that they are small enough. You don't want the nuts to be too big because they can take away center taste from your otherwise hot, juicy, and moist eggplant. The articulation of this kit is nothing special. It is very definition of average, and knowing the age of this kit, I didn't have high hope to begin with. The wings spreading out is a very nice touch, and it can look cool for certain poses. The Ding Dong Cannon thingy is definitely the MVP here, and it can offer a lot of fun when it comes to posing due to the large number of hinges and joints that it has. I would imagine people will have a lot of fun going full frontal with this one. I remember this one time when we go grocery shopping and one of my white people friends asked me, "Brandon, how much is this green onion in Vietnamese money?" And I give them answer, 2,000 dong. You might be wondering, Brandon, why so much PB jokes in family-friendly show? Are you 12 years old?
Yes.
Finally, to garnish our meal, let's just take a look at the weapon, accessory, and playability. Starting off with the hand options. Here we have this closest fist, which come with a pair of shoes, but because the design is so bland and boring, I've only built one of them. We have these two open fists here, which I said before is very unique looking, and these two beam saber effect part. The beam saber effect part can be plugged into the hole on the hand here, and they can rotate around a bit, but not too much. The Gundam definitely look extra menacing with these twin beam saber, and you can pull out a lot of decent, but not really mind-blowing poses with them. Next up, we have the shield. It can be transformed into either open and unopened mode by taking this red panel out and peg it to the correct hole. You can plug it into the side of the forearm using this peg right here. Next up, we have the rifle here, connected to the beam rifle holding hand. Straight out the box, it is completely gray and dull looking with this massive seam line running across it. So I removed the seam line and gave it a small paint job for the extra color accuracy. And when wheel in hand, it offers a variety of extra poses alongside with the shield. And then we have the final gimmick that this kit has, which I have been teasing so much. The head, the backpack, and this entire section of this chest here can be detached from the body to form this weird core flyer thingy. If you didn't think that this Gundam design was weird before, this definitely take the cake. I have no idea what is the function of this mode right here because I haven't watched Gundam Age, but I can at least say that it is inspired by a monster from Asian mythology, especially Malaysia. I believe it is called a
Penanango.
All joking aside, you get this small piece here which allows the whole thing to connect to the action pace. Compared to the Carol flying saucer that we covered in the last episode, I would say that this flying saucer mode is definitely way better because you still get the articulation of not only the head of the Gundam, but also the wings and the Ding Dong gun. And with that, we have pretty much covered everything about this model kit, so let's move on to the final conclusion. I think that the HG Gundam Legilis is the kit only worth getting if you want to have unique looking Gundam on the shelf. The price point is around 1,300 yen, so I think it is a decent purchase. The articulation is average, and while you certainly can make some cool poses with it, it can still feel a bit limited due to its age. The accessories are decent, but straight up built outside of the box, they can look pretty bland and boring, so there are definitely some extra work you have to give to them. The gimmick and playability can be fun, but at the end of the day, it added nothing extra to the overall value of the whole kit. But since the appearance is something that is so unique and never before seen in a Gundam, I decided to give the final overall score of 7 out of 10. There are definitely a lot of different things you can do to improve the appearance even further, such as adding in extra panel line or using different weapons for more cool posing options. In the hand of a true pro like Justin from Studio G, This kit can go from a 7 out of 10 to easy 11 out of 10. Please make sure to let him know that this Gundam is definitely something that he should consider working on next. And while you are at it, why not check out his HG Paint, which you can get for 5% off by using these referral links here. So cheap, so cheap. That's right. Not only do you get this high quality Clockwork paint at a discount, you will also be supporting my channel, as I will be giving more budget to deliver more higher quality content in the future. Anyway, plating up everything here on the table, I think we can wrap up our episode. And that's it for my HG Gundam Legilis review. And to pair it up, we have this here eggplant stir fry Vietnamese style. You will have to excuse me for eating it with this fork right here. Normally, I would eat it with chopstick and rice. This is my first time tasting eggplant in a while, and I can definitely say the flavor is amazing. And I think we all learned very important lesson today. Sometimes just because something is not familiar to you doesn't mean you can't enjoy them if you are willing to give them a chance. The eggplant and this Gundam right here can definitely be too strange for somebody, but I think with enough dedication put into the painting and customizing as well as cooking, not only do you have a very nice Gundam to put on yourself, you also have a really nice, delicious warm meal to warm your heart. As always, please be sure to have fun while building Gunpla. Never stop building. Make yourself a really nice meal to pair it up with, and I'll see you all next time.